Hello. What you want to do is set up your computer work environment so you will be successful. And to do that, we just talk about having a baseline of software and equipment that can make you successful. The biggest problem the world has ever known, at least for this class, is basically staying organized. Everybody has a problem staying organized. It's one of the most common things that I and everybody else have. So we're going to create a website to hold your projects, and every website is going to have a root folder. Just like every website in existence, every website has a root folder, and ours will too. The website should contain a CSS folder for CSS files, an images folder for images files, and a JS folder for your JavaScript files. Lately, with the at font face becoming more and more common, we've begun to put fonts folders in websites, but you don't have to. We're not going to really cover that during this course. And like every homepage you ever create, there will always be an index.html page that is your homepage. There are other acceptable names depending on the web server you're using, but index.html is the most common, so that's what we'll be using. So if you're wondering how to set up your website, here's where you start. So just be sure and create your homepage or all your pages with a text editor. Microsoft Word is a word processor, not a text editor. A little bit more on that later. So if you look at it from a Mac standpoint, screenshot, this is what it looks like. Nothing special about the names. There are several other ways of naming your folders as far as conventions go. This is just one that's very, very common. In Windows, it might look like this. And what you want to also do is in whatever operating system that you're using, to go ahead and show your file extensions. Let me give you an example. Say, for instance, if you're on a Mac, you want to go to the Finder menu and say Preferences and make sure you show all file extensions. If you're on a Windows XP machine, you can go to the Tools menu with any window open at all in the Windows Explorer, go to Folder Options in the Tools menu, and the selection under the View tab that says Hide Extensions for Known File Types. Be sure that's unchecked. Microsoft checks it by default. Windows 7, very, very similar. Just go to your Organize menu, select Folder and Search Options. The same kind of window pops up. You hit the View tab and uncheck Hide Extensions for Known File Types. They're trying to simplify the interface for folks who aren't programmers, and we want to see these level of details because it's helpful in diagnosing problems and keeping track of your files. Tools of the trade. A lot of times people come with different experiences and different software. We just need, bare minimum, a text editor for code, something like Notepad++ on a PC or Text Wrangler for a Mac. Both of those are free. You need a browser to display your files, something like Firefox or Chrome or Safari or Opera or even Internet Explorer. We're going to kind of standardize for this course with Firefox 9, so download that at your convenience. And we need some debugging tools because nobody's perfect. Certainly I'm not when I code, and I don't expect you to be. That's why we go through debugging and validation processes to make sure our code is good. So debugging basically means taking out all the imperfections, all the incorrections, and making it run correctly. Using a text editor instead of word processors like Microsoft Word or just anything you might use that does a lot of formatting, puts in code, puts in tags, really, that really screw it up for just plain web servers that just want plain text. You really don't want things to screw with your code because if you've been slaving over your code for the last 2 weeks, it would be a pain to lose all that work and start over when that stupid algebra test is tomorrow and the dog has to go to the vet because it ate your homework. Just protect yourself and use a text editor. Word processors will really, really screw it up. Can't emphasize that enough. TextEdit on the Mac is free. It's included with your Mac. Text Wrangler is a little bit more advanced, has code hinting and code coloring and line numbers. It's free. There's a link on Blackboard. Cool stuff. On Windows, Notepad, basic stuff built in. It's included with Windows. Notepad++ is a free text editor. There's a link on Blackboard. Again, Microsoft Word, wonderful program, use it every day, but it's not a text editor, it's a word processor. Please, it will eat your files. Please don't use it. Don't use Microsoft Word to create web pages or JavaScript files. A more sophisticated environment will help in a lot of ways. They usually cost money though, but there are things like Dreamweaver and Coda and BBEdit and TextMate. I think several others exist. Use whatever you like. There's no one who can tell your code has been built with one program or the other, because HTML, JavaScript, and CSS are all web standards. There's no way of telling who or what or why you created it with, except for proprietary extensions to code. So, we are also going to, like I said, standardize on Firefox. We are going to add Firebug and the Web Developer Toolkit extensions to Firefox, and I will show you how to do that in a separate movie. So for right now, that gets us started, and see you in the next movie.